Well, it's been an amazing experience. This is a great team, a great group of girls, and I've just loved every minute I've spent with them. So, yeah. I think the definite highlight was our trip to South Africa and Swaziland. So it kind of had a bit of soccer, but also missions trip aspect, so we really got to know each other on a deeper level, and it was awesome. I'm not completely sure, but I'm thinking of either applying to medical school or pharmacy school. So it's still kind of up in the air, and I might take a year off, but we'll see.
Rachel Antoniak has just been a fantastic servant to our program, and you know, she does have 1 year left of eligibility, which we need to remind her of. But what a great career for Rachel. You know, she came in knowing that, you know, it would be a little bit harder to crack the lineup, and yet she risked and said yes, she wanted to come, and you know, she has done everything we've asked her to do in terms of being ready for the season. Each and every one of her 4 seasons, she came in prepared. She worked hard. You know, didn't complain when she wasn't playing as much as she knows she would like to have. She has been a great Spartan, and we're going to miss her both for her on-field and off-the-field contributions. She's certainly set the bar in a number of categories that we, you know, deem as very important to our culture, and so we're grateful that, you know, Rachel has said, I want to be a servant, and if I'm not going to play very much, I'm going to be the most hard-working, dedicated player in the training sessions so that I can make my teammates better. And you know what, throughout her whole 4 years, she has just gone about her business, steadily got better, always been prepared, and always been willing with this attitude that says, Coach, whatever you need me to do. Set the standards academically, that's for sure. Has been a teammate that the team absolutely loves and cherishes. And we'll miss her because she's been a massive contribution to our last 4 years.
It's hard to say what you'd get at a different school, but I can tell you that like my expectations coming to Trinity have been completely outdone. I know I came here for soccer, and I've definitely got a lot more than soccer. Going to Africa and Paraguay was a huge experience, both of them for me. So, and then obviously getting like a really good education with it as well. Soccer has just been like, I mean, a huge part of it, obviously, but just like one piece of a huge puzzle that, you know, they talk about when you come to Trinity, they tell you that they want to make you build character and be more than a soccer player, and I definitely think that that's happened over my 5 years. On the field, definitely winning nationals twice was obviously really awesome. I mean, one of those experiences for me was on the field, whereas the other one I was in my first year I was just in the stands, but it was equally amazing to be a part of both of those experiences. But I think for me, Paraguay was definitely like a huge part, because it was my second year. I was still really kind of getting into the groove of Trinity, what it had to offer and what my teammates had to offer, and so going to Paraguay, getting to know people closer, just that was really huge for me. Undecided, but definitely more school at some point, whether I do that right away or take a year off, maybe travel a little bit more, and then go back at it. But I'm doing chemistry major, so I don't really know what you can do that yet, which I probably should have thought about 4 years ago, but working on it.
Yeah, Nikki Burns a delight to talk about, because she's a great illustration of a player that came here because she knew we had a good program and wasn't really 100% sure where she would fit into it. And you know, if you'd said to me when we recruited her she'd end up being a 4-year starter at left back, I might have had my doubts. But you know, just her energy, her work rate, her commitment to being the best that she can be, and improved every year. I think probably in many ways the most unsung player of our starting core the last 3 or 4 years. But you know, Nikki will give you everything. She gives you her heart. She gives you, you know, physically, you know, puts herself on the line every time she plays. Turned into an extremely good attacking left back, and has grown in her understanding and responsibility for her role. She is a true Spartan, and we're delighted to say that, you know, she's, you know, not only contributed to our starting 11's success, but our program. She'll leave an incredible mark on our program, and has really modeled what it means to take things like our weight training seriously, our work rate seriously, and even just who she's become off the field. What a treat it's been to have Nikki as part of our program, and we'll miss her immensely.
My experience has been unbelievable. Yeah, I kind of came in not really knowing what to expect, but like leaving after 5 years, I've gained like 30 amazing friendships, and just like the coaches are fantastic, and I don't know, it's just been probably the best 5 years of my life, so highlighted my experience. I'd definitely say winning nationals at home, probably. That was just like the best feeling in the world. and then obviously still like the friendships that I've made. I'm not really sure yet. I'm definitely moving back to Calgary and gonna work and then just kind of see what I'm gonna do after that, so I'm not really sure yet.
Jill Dietrich has been what I would consider, one of the greatest servants to our program. Certainly in my coaching career here, has been a steady starter her whole 5 years. Over the last couple of years has been more influential in terms of how we attack. But it's not just in terms of how she plays. She's so consistent, technically excellent, and has raised her game every year. And this year, I think, is having her best season. Certainly, again, rewarded by being selected twice to FISU. Only I think time will tell as the years go on. People will realize more and more what an incredible contribution she has had to our program, what an impact she's had, not only on our program, but more specifically on teammates' lives. Just really, really blessed and pleased to have coached a kid named Jill and realize, she's matured into a great leader, matured into a fantastic player, and in the end, I think is been a joy for me in terms of coaching to get to know somebody that has grown so much. So sad to see her go and realize that she'll leave a massive hole that won't easily be filled.
I've had an amazing experience. I came to play soccer here, but I've made some great friends from the team and off the team, and I've got a great education, and I just think I'm leaving Trinity with a deep appreciation for the place here. On the field, I think, my 2 national championships, and now I'm realizing how special they really were and appreciating them. And off the field, I think our trips to Paraguay and to Africa, and I think those are life-changing as well. Well, my plan is to move home. I'm gonna go back to Calgary, and then work. And I'm applying for physio for next year, hopefully. So that's the plan so far.
Well, it's been a delight to have Kristen Funk as a really valuable player. I mean, in some ways, the most valuable player maybe in our program's history when you think about her positions and her contributions to our program. What a delightful young lady to coach and watch her mature as not only an athlete but a leader. Some great highlights over her 5 years. We're going to miss her immensely. And yet the realization of what a contribution she's given to us, whether it's in the penalty shootouts, in which she both made some vital saves and actually took a couple penalties, or whether it was just some of the most timely saves, in crucial games. I'll always have many, many memories, probably too many to list here. Certainly the save she made in the final against Montreal in Toronto will be a memorable standout moment for our program. But like I said, she's just been the bedrock of everything we've done as a program for the last 5 years. I've been rewarded by being selected to Team Canada and FISU for 2 go-arounds. She's, in my opinion, the best keeper in Canada and has been for a few years. So we're just privileged that she was part of our program, and now over the last few weeks gets to finish out her career, and let's hopefully gets to finish on a high.
It's been overall great, but it's been like a roller coaster throughout throughout the 5 years. So it's like I couldn't really have, it wasn't anything that I anticipated, which was awesome. But it's definitely like taught me so much about myself, facing adversity, how to get through different situations, how to deal with failures, how to deal with success. It's been awesome. A couple highlights were our missions trips, so Paraguay and then Africa, which is still most freshest in my mind. That's off field, and then on field, hopefully I can add this year, but for right now, my first 2 years winning nationals, especially, first year was pretty cool because we won it in our home park. Second year, I felt like I played a really big role in it, so that was a huge personal accomplishment as well, so that was a highlight for me. I'm really indecisive, but I want to go on to post-grad. What I'll do, I don't know. I'm going to get my Bachelor of Science and do something. Hopefully, potentially go to med school, we'll see.
Well, Tessa's had a great career, and we'll always have great memories of as a young rookie fitting into a team and figuring out where she could play. in a team that was just beginning to establish ourselves, and then seeing her be a national champion in her first year, and then taking on an even greater role as a true center midfielder the second year, being rewarded and recognized across Canada through her performances during our second back-to-back national championship run. But Tessa has set the standard in terms of fitness. She's set the standard in terms of her determination to work hard. Tessa has had some ups and downs in her career, like most players do, and she's battled through some adversity, and yet has always come through on the right end of that adversity. And so she's been a servant to our program. She has worked really hard. Really pleased that she's having a good fifth year, after a few years of carrying some injuries and dealing with a couple of issues. So we're blessed that Tessa came here. I'm particularly delighted because she had lots of options 5 years ago. Hard to believe that this fifth-year class is coming towards the end of their careers. But let's hope that there's still great stuff to come, and really pleased that Tessa's had such a great fifth year and finishing on a high.
So, I don't know, I guess it's been a really, really great journey, and I've definitely learned a lot about myself. But it's also been really challenging for me personally because I've been through, let's say, a handful of injuries. So I've really been part of the team where I've not been able to play more than I have been able to play. But I think in the end it's made me closer with people on the team and made me a lot stronger as a person. I'd say on the field I have two, and both would happen to be winning the nationals. Like definitely in my first year hosting nationals, there's nothing like having your nationals at your home park and just being with like all your fans and your family and everything, especially those like winning moments. But also like the second nationals, just being able to have the privilege of going with the team even though I wasn't able to play, and just supporting them, and just like the memories of like Funk making an amazing save off of like a PK and everything was just really great. Off the field, it's hard to come up with specific memories, but definitely the most memorable experiences will have been Paraguay and Africa for me. Just getting to go on those missions trips and interacting both with our team and seeing them in so many different environments, going from laughing to crying to laughing within like 30 seconds, and just seeing how everybody interacted with all the poverty and everything that we saw. I plan on working for a while, hopefully something to do with science. I'm not really sure yet, and my end goal definitely would be to get into med school somewhere and do that route. So.
Chantal Whitehead, I mean, you can say so many great things about Chantal, both because of her ability to read a game and to pass the ball, and to dictate the tempo of games. And probably the biggest disappointment for her and I is obviously injuries have cut short her career. But she served the program in so many ways. Over the last 3-4 years when she's been battling a knee injury, she's always been faithful to be at practice, always been faithful to encourage or to do certain things that behind the scenes people don't necessarily notice, but we notice. And she's really bought into wanting to be about what can she do to help the Spartans. So whether it was on the field in her first year or working hard to rehab in order to get back, the poor kid has had just a really tough go with injuries. But through it all, I think she would say that she was blessed to come to Trinity and be a part of the Spartan family. We were certainly blessed, and you never know, she might still pop up on the playing field as she continues to rehab and get better and better. So we have great hopes for Chantal, whether it's in this season or maybe a little hint for future seasons. But what a great career, even though it didn't work out or look like the way that probably we all envisioned. She's shown her true colors by just continuing to be a Spartan and supporting the program in any way that she could. So we're hoping that it can end on a high note.
It's been pretty incredible. We have a great group of girls and an amazing staff, so I couldn't have asked for anything else. We have like a family environment, so we really support each other and we love each other, and I've had tons of fun here, so I wouldn't have traded it for anything else. On the field, probably beating UVic in the nationals in order to get to the final gold medal game against Brock. That was huge on our home field, and especially with all of our fan support. And we had tons of cheering fans and tons of people dressed up, and it was just a really cool experience for me. Off the field, both of our mission trips to Paraguay and South Africa have been pretty amazing. A lot of ups and downs with emotions on those trips, but they've definitely shaped my life and made me a better person. First, I want to travel a little bit and see the world and maybe take a little bit of a break from school, but then I'm planning on getting my master's of physiotherapy, and then hopefully starting my own practice and doing that. But I definitely want to travel the world and see more things and relax a little bit, give my body a rest.
You know, we knew when we were recruiting Nikki what a phenomenal athlete she had the potential to be, and demonstrated to us when we recruited her. And she certainly showed that in her rookie year, and so was you know, every bit as rewarded, you know, by being Rookie of the Year in her first year, and then obviously being the Canada West Player of the Year. She's had a great career, and you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, her 5th year didn't pan out the way any of us expected it to. We were hoping that this would be the year where, you know, she was able to continue to show why she's one of the elite strikers in Canada. Again, been recognized by being picked twice to go to the FISU games, and you know, Nikki was and is a player that has always rose to the occasion. She's always showed up at the right time with a big goal. She's a great finisher, extremely quick, and you know, has served her program so well in terms of her on-field contributions. It's been, you know, a great opportunity to coach somebody that has gone from being a great athlete to a great soccer player, and obviously recognized as one of the most dangerous players in terms of attacking soccer that this program's ever had, but probably that Canada West or Canada has seen in recent years. So we'll miss her immensely in terms of her on-field contributions, and yeah, disappointed that it didn't get to be a Cinderella ending in terms of her senior year, but you know, Nikki's had a great career looking back at it, and we're pleased that she came to Trinity Western.